It's the most inconvenient truth that the world around us is far from perfect. It's an inconvenient truth that many people in the world simply do not have enough food to eat. It's an inconvenient truth that many people in the world only have dirty water to drink. It's an inconvenient truth that child sex trafficking is taking place. It's an inconvenient truth that in the UK, bankers swindle and politicians lie. It's an inconvenient truth. But why? Simply put, it's because while we have everything we need, it's inconvenient to think about those who are suffering, those who don't have the simple luxuries that we take for granted. But history speaks of someone who was interested in these people who were suffering. History tells us that there is someone who doesn't see the suffering that's going on as an inconvenience to be avoided, but he sees suffering as a wrong to be righted. And history has many examples of people who have experienced this, people who have experienced the effect of someone who is interested in alleviating their suffering. One woman comes to mind in particular. I don't know her name, the story doesn't mention it. But what the story mentions is that there's a woman who for 12 years has been hemorrhaging, bleeding constantly for 12 long years. And it's not just the bleeding that's the issue, it's what that bleeding would have meant for her and the quality of life that she would have had to lead as a result of this. You see, her culture was very clear. There were customs in place. And it was made very clear that a woman, while she is bleeding, is unclean. If she is touched, that person who touches her is unclean. If she touches someone, that person is unclean. If wherever she sits, wherever she lays down, that place becomes unclean. And there were ceremonies and customs and sacrifices that would have to be made if someone was to touch her. You see, the Israelites were meant to stay separate from anything that would cause them to be unclean. And so I think it's fair to assume that as a result of this, for 12 long years, this woman was probably living in isolation. Imagine it. Separated from every other human being because of this condition. Now, the record doesn't tell us if she had a family, if she had a husband, if she had children, but think about it for a minute. If she did, for 12 years, she would have had no reassuring hug from her child. For 12 years, no comforting kiss from her husband, because to do so would have rendered them unclean. And so she hears of a man who's coming in the area soon, and somehow she makes her way to where he is going to be. And you have to understand, this would have been extremely dangerous for her. This was a time when women were considered, well, more importantly, women were not considered. So on top of her not being considered because of her gender, she was also unclean, making this venture, this journey even that much more dangerous. But somehow she manages, in the midst of the crowd that are nearly crushing Jesus, she manages to reach out and touch him. And in that moment, she is healed. It's an interesting story and a true story. And it continually reminds me that Jesus is in the business of taking desperate situations filled with suffering and hopelessness and turning it around. He made this woman whole. And so the question today is, what are we willing to do for the suffering in this world? You see, Jesus wants us to be part of what he is doing. And it astounds me that the creator of this universe, a marvelous and all-powerful being, wants us humans to be part of transforming this world, of alleviating the suffering. So the question is, what are you going to do?